Hi friends, welcome to today's video. Today I just wanted to share some thoughts with you that have been going around in my mind for a long time, actually for years, and actually I've known this all along, but just sharing what I think are the biggest contributors in our world today to disease and death. Hi, in case you don't know me yet, my name is Freya Casey and I'm an aspiring minimalist, and I always try to look for ways to live a healthy, sustainable life and just to simplify. I have a dog and I go for a walk every morning and every evening and sometimes in between. And I usually go outside into the forest or into the fields just like I am right now. This is a nice area here, but it's really hard to escape other human beings. Not that I want to escape, but I actually love being alone sometimes. I really need that to come just to unwind and to, I don't know, to just think, to not have any input. And I've recently read the book, The Biophilia Effect, and that was very eye-opening. And it pretty much just confirmed all those thoughts that I've been having over the years. And even up here where I'm sitting right now, I can look down here. There is a main road that connects two towns, and there's quite a lot of traffic on there. So even up here, I can hear cars driving. And even when I'm up in the forest, it is quieter, but even there, when, during specific times of the day, there's rush hour and you will always hear noise. I live in this small town. So for me personally, I have lived in big cities before. I don't know, I just love quiet. And the older I get, the more I need the calmness and the quiet. And I don't know, it bothers me more and more that I can't escape, that it's just so hard to escape. And I'm very blessed that I do have a beautiful forest. It's a national, what do you call it? Like a national refuge, like a wildlife refuge. And it's very untouched, but on Sundays you can't go there because everybody comes there. It's crazy. I go there in the morning early and not a lot of people are there, but still it is really hard to actually be alone nowadays. And I think the biggest contributor, there's two things that I think contribute to disease and death nowadays, premature death that is, of course. And that is number one, stress, and number two, the way we eat. Stress is just incredibly common nowadays. And I think it's because of the fact that, probably you may say, well, I would go for a walk if I had the time. And that is the problem. No one has even the time to go for a walk anymore. No one even has time to go out into nature anymore. We all have to work, of course, and make a living. And I lead a luxury life, really, because I have the opportunity that I can work from home nowadays. I'm a vocal coach and I do everything online. I have my main channel. I have started this channel and maybe one day it's going to contribute a little bit also to our family income. Not yet, but this is just a passion of mine. But I really think this is a disease in itself, that we are always rushed. We're always running from something to the next thing, always running, always rushed, always short of time. We never have enough time for everything we want to do. And the thing that we always end up not being able to do are the things that we actually want to do. The things that actually fulfill us are the things we never have the time for. And I'm asking myself, why? Why is it that we do all these things, but for what? I realize we have to have a roof over our head, but we work for the next bigger house and more stuff. We work for the next car. And I've been thinking about this myself because I have a lot of wishes and things that they do cost money, but the more I think about it, the more I think, why? What's it worth, and what's it worth to me? What am I willing to sacrifice to get those things? And what would be the alternative of not spending more money on more stuff, but just less money on less, and just being and doing some things like going out into nature and maybe driving places very simply where I can just be alone. And even with my family, even with kids and with a spouse, there's still so much value in actually, just being together without any other input. I've been thinking about this a lot. Human beings are so far from how they used to live. thousands of years ago. We are so far removed. We hardly go outside anymore. We live in air-conditioned and heated, well, you kind of have to heat, otherwise you'll die probably in the winter if there's minus 20 degrees outside. But we live in a home that is not just a shelter and a place to be warm in the winter, but it is a place where we hardly go out and do anything anymore. Where it should be actually the other way around. It should be a place where we go when, at night to be safe and to keep our food, to keep our belongings, and to come back to. Or in the winter, of course, to warm up, or in the summer to get into the shade. But now it has become to where we almost only live inside of buildings, not just our houses. When we go to work, it's all in buildings. There's hardly any daylight. There's always input. There's a lot of electronics nowadays. And then we come home and have more electronics. And then the food we eat is so processed. And it's not just because we want to eat that way, but it's because that's what's offered. That's what's available. And it's crazy to think that processed foods are often cheaper than non-processed foods. That is so reverse, and I think that is a huge contributor to disease and premature death because our bodies don't get any more what they need. Our bodies were not made to eat chemicals that they don't recognize as food, and our bodies were not made to live, inside too much where we can't make enough vitamin D. And our bodies were not meant to eat all this processed food that has been to factories. So these are just some thoughts I have. And what I kind of vowed to myself is to try to continue to find ways for me and my family, not just to live a healthier life, but to live a more fulfilled and happy life. I have to admit it's really hard, especially when it comes to kids, to convince them to, they always want stuff. And Christmas is coming up here soon, and Romy wants stuff, and she wants toys, and I understand because she's like, oh, my friend has this and I want this too. It is really hard to, I don't want to push anything on her, but I do hope that I can be an example by showing her how happy I am by having less. And, I told her this year, I don't want anything from Christmas from anyone, except maybe it's something from the heart that you made yourself that is so valuable to me. But all I can do is just be an example. And I don't know, I'm one of the healthiest people I think I know. Among all the people I know around me, my friends, I'm very healthy, I'm very happy. And I do hope that, I can help my family also get into this direction of simplifying so that we can be more happy. Let me know in the comments. I'm very interested to know what your thoughts are about this. Do you feel you're stressed way too much? Do you feel like the things you really want to do, you're always postponing and you're always procrastinating, or you're thinking, oh, when I have time, I'll do this and that, but then you never get around to it? That is very sad. Of course, we never know if we're going to live tomorrow. Of course, we never want to think of a horror scenario, but today, this moment is like I'm here, but the next moment I'm never granted. So it drives me nuts when I listen to some friends of mine who always have all these dreams and think, oh, one day I will retire early and then I'll do this and that. And I have a friend who has been talking to me about retiring early for the past 10 years, but he's, I think he's mid-50s now. I don't know how much more time he has to retire early, but I don't know if you're going to wait until you're 60 to actually live the life you've wanted to live. That to me, that's just not enough. Right now, I want to enjoy life to its fullest. And I think it's easiest if you don't have these huge standards of having to have lots of money to live there, but just to need less. And when you need less, you have to work less and you have more time to do the things you love doing. And maybe you can find things to do that aren't expensive. Because I know there are some things you may want to do that could be expensive. So just some thoughts. Thank you so much for watching today. If you are interested in more videos about minimalism, just sharing thoughts and simplifying life, consider subscribing. And I do hope to see you next time. Bye.